Welcome back, everyone. I got a newbie with me, and I'm really excited about having my next guest on, who is Jillian Fulton. She's the owner of GlowCo Med Spa and Wellness. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself, what you do, and the fact that you told me before you came on, you said, I focus more on functional and holistic, that kind of an approach to wellness. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I do. So I was a registered nurse for about 20 years, and I decided to go back to school. I got my family nurse practitioner license. Did not know what I wanted to do at all, but in my clinicals in school, the reoccurring theme was big pharma. I don't want to be on all this medication. I don't like taking all this polypharmacy is really what they call it. So I had some doctors that I'd worked under and other nurse practitioners to do my hours, and a lot of them got into that wellness and that functional medicine, and that's when you're looking at the root of what's going on. So a lot of it is inflammation, right? That's a huge cause. Stress, because it's inside and out. So at that point I decided, I want to do a little more wellness, and the med spa piece comes in because I do like what I call pretty medicine. I do like the facial.
I like that. I gotta write that down.
Yeah, I call it pretty medicine. I like, the microneedling and the chemical peels and the Botox, and we all like a little bit of something there, right? And as I started getting more patients, I really just centered on the inside. So I decided from inside out.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we wrote that
You
down
too.
as possibly your next tagline,
Yeah.
balancing inner health and outer beauty. I really love that a lot. One of the things that you said before you came on, and you said it casually, and I'm going to bring it up to you now.
Okay.
Because first of all, I want them to know that not only, you happen to be in Queen Creek, but you said that you can help anyone here in Arizona,
Yes.
all of the state of Arizona,
Yes.
as well as Colorado and Utah. Tell them how.
So I also noticed this trend. I tend to find these things that I either put out or start doing because people start asking, and sometimes that's the only way that I know, but the convenience. And so everyone loves telehealth, right? So it turned into, I almost make people get on telehealth with me, and I talk too long, 15, 20 minutes, however long they need, and it's free. And I do a lot of, everything is mailed to your home, so I do a lot of peptides, a lot of vitamins. Even if they do need, I do believe in medication when needed, it's not as a no, but we do those things. The only thing I can't ship to you is your microneedling. You would have to come see me in Queen Creek, Arizona.
Well, you called them home kits.
Yes.
That's really cool that you can do that. Now, everybody wants convenience. I think that if it was me, I'd probably want to come into you at least one time, have you kind of touchy-feely. I'm old fashioned because I'm an older lady, But I think that's really true that a lot of people now, that's all they want is the convenience. And is it that easy that they can really just do most of it at home once they talk to you?
It is. They can go on my website and they go to the book now, and you can go on there. You can book any time or day that's available for you, and they have an option to have telehealth or come in. I do have clients that come in and they say, well, I just wanted to see you. I want to know you're a real person. They like to see the degrees on the wall, and I love it. But I love people coming in. I spent a lot of time on that office. Don't ask my husband about the wallpaper, but I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, her website is glowcomedspa.com. The phone number is 480-770-2633. Again, she's located in Queen Creek, but she serves all of Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. And she does these free consultations, telehealth
Yeah.
is what you call it, or in person, either way. I want to talk about some of the different services that you offer, okay? Let's talk about that. Besides, I know you do the peptides and all of the other, I'm sure you do the Botox and all of
Yes.
that. What is something that everybody's asking for these days?
The biggest is weight loss, and a lot. When I started this practice, I started back in December, and they say that you grow an average of 10 clients a month when you're first starting out. I'm at about 118 right now.
Wow,
I'm very
that's
fortunate.
awesome.
I'm very grateful. It has blown up.
What do you feel is causing that?
I relate to the patients. So I myself have lost 100 pounds
That's awesome.
on
My
weight
God.
loss, medical weight loss medication, and it's just that word of mouth, people that knew me and then wanted to know how I did it, and then they tell their friends, and I've done some advertising here and there, but nothing crazy. It's really all word of mouth, but I relate to them. I understand their story. I've been through it. It's not just miracles.
That reminds me,
Yeah.
you say that you have a story.
I do. So I get asked a lot, how did you decide to start this practice? Why did you start this practice? So, going way back, and I'll make it as short as possible, but I had my first son when I was 20 years old. And that changed my whole kind of theme of where you're gonna go, your road, right? And it was great, and I love him to pieces, and he graduates next week, and there's a little plug for my baby.
Congratulations.
But, he graduates college, by the way, so
That's
I'm
awesome.
aging myself. But, that stopped my road, right? And I started raising my babies. I have 4 babies, and I was a single mom forever. And I had to do it for them. And so I pushed and pushed, and a big theme in my house was, you're going to college, you're going to school, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I realized, well, I sure pushed that, but I better show it, right? So I actually got remarried, and my husband, he raised my kids, but he said, I wanna go back to, told him I wanna go back to school, so I did, and he would watch them at night while I went to school. And it was a long road, it wasn't overnight, but I did it. And now it's about all hands on deck now that mom wanted to start this business, everybody helps.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
it's been amazing, but I wanted to show them what you can do, right? Because I'm much older now, and a lot of people think right out of high school, right out of college, you're doing those things, and it took me a long time, but it was hard, and it was work, and they grew up with me. And that's my story, and people relate to that a
Yeah,
lot.
I
They
bet
do.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now, what's really nice too is that what she's done is made it convenient for people.
yeah,
To be able to talk to her, she'll do a consultation with you, sit down, and obviously everybody has a different story,
They do.
and they have a different road that they wanna travel on. But I think that when it comes to weight loss especially, once you have gotten into that story, right?
Yeah.
Then it becomes very similar for everybody.
yeah.
I wanna lose the weight, how much can I lose? Do I have to work out? Right?
Yeah, so everybody really thinks that I just have, everybody's heard of the weight loss shot, and we won't name it,
Mhm.
but there's so many options, and that's what I open up for them, but sometimes we think it's a miracle, right, and it's not. Then we realize after the first month or 2 that we actually have to do the work,
Mhm.
but sometimes that's not just exercise. A lot of it is mental, because I don't know about you, but I grew up in a house where I had to clean my plate.
Mhm.
Had to clean my plate or you didn't get up from
Right,
the table.
you're not leaving the
Yeah.
table until you
And
finish
that's
that,
stuck.
young lady.
Yeah, that stuck. A big Italian family, grandma made spaghetti, and I loved it, and to this day, I love it. But, people, you relate to that, and you have to figure out how to get past that, and it's hard.
Do you help with that?
We talk about it, we do,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a nutritionist that I had on consult last month. I got her, and we send out, menus, and there's personalized, but they're narrowed down to like your calorie intake and your weight loss of what you're trying to achieve and your carbs and all that. And so we do that. I'd like to branch that out a little more as I grow and as I can see what the need is for people. But a lot of it is honestly talking, and when they have someone they can relate to. Like, I'm an emotional eater. Happy, sad, doesn't matter what it is, right?
Right.
We all are, but
Yeah.
we talk about that, and oh, okay, and it's little things, here's what I do. Oh, well, here's what I do.
That's so true. And the other thing too about eating is you have to eat,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you have to eat, it makes it so much harder. And if you're having a rough moment or day or month or
Yeah.
whatever it is, usually we eat to feel good,
Yep.
right? And
We-
so weight loss is huge, but all sorts of things that you can help people with functional
Yep,
medicine.
the
I wanna talk
functional.
about that.
Getting to the root, so usually it's all about, I love labs, I do, and we run labs, but I don't love to go off numbers. I love to listen to the person, because that oftentimes tells me a lot more than what I'm looking at just on the numbers. Someone can look beautiful on paper, right? Like sell a book by its cover, but then when I'm talking to them, I'm like, wait a minute, and you kind of start attaching these things, and you can go back to roots of like inflammation. A lot of people have chronic diseases that cause so much more, like an octopus is what I call it. Like it just kind of spreads out, and then we're unpeeling that onion layer, right? The
Mhm.
layers of the onion, I should say. And we kind of get into that nitty gritty. Well, in your past you had this, or, oh, you'd be amazed how many people go and take all these supplements, right?
Mm.
Ashwagandha, red rice teas, and I love them, and they're meant for certain purposes, and I use them all the time. But when you mix certain ones, and then they come and tell me, I felt so dizzy, and my joints hurt for the past 2 months. I go, well, stop taking this, and then they do, and oh my God. I mean, sometimes it's that simple, not always.
No, but honestly,
odd.
you have to be careful.
Yeah.
And it's all thrown at you all day long from
Yeah.
wherever you're listening, especially supplements these days.
Yes.
And, you think that you can just take them and take them and take them and you're okay and you're making yourself better when you're probably making yourself worse. Now, you can check her out on her website. It's glowcoach.com. glowcomedspa.com. Her phone number to call is 480-770-2633. She does free consultations, but the cool thing about her is that she works with telehealth. So everything that she can do in person, she can do with you over the phone practically.
Yes.
There's a few things that are not, but those of you who wanna come in anyway. We're gonna go to a break, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna talk a little bit further about what she can do to help everyone, and especially right now. I mean, the summer's here. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know anybody, but when you went and went into the closet and put on your bathing
do.
suit, you threw it back in.
Yeah,
Right now,
sometimes that's
yeah.
our body.
So it's here, so you wanna lose some weight, she's the gal to talk to. Again, that number to call her direct, it's 480-770-2633. It's glowcomedspa.com. Hang tight, we're gonna be back in just a minute. So you liking it?
Yeah, I think.
I think you're great.
Okay,
So,
but I talk
we-
with my hands.
it's okay, as long as you're not hitting anything, right?
Did I?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would've told you. We are still live on Facebook right now, so I want you to, kinda talk a little bit about more, you've lost 100 pounds, and how long did it take so far?
It's been a little over a year.
Wow, but you
Yeah.
think, first of all, when somebody loses that much weight, you think that you don't see it, I mean, like, you look
So
fantastic.
that's part of the inside out part.
Okay.
As I have patients that start losing, and I am in the beginning of my practice, right? But I have some that have come to me already losing weight and want to just continue with me. But we don't want what we call Ozempic face, that's what they call
Oh,
it.
is that really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm not
so-
gonna call it that, I'm just gonna
It's
say
okay.
you look fantastic. Can I
Thanks.
just say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there comes a certain point with the weight loss where I start to say, we wanna tighten up that skin a little bit.
Mhm.
Or, I make sure that when they're, even on their arms and their legs, that they're working out with weights, because you don't wanna lose that muscle mass, which makes you sag, that's
Yeah.
where your skin gets
I know.
saggy.
Mhm.
Usually a couple months in is where I suggest we start, not the Botox, but more of like a really good skincare line, the microneedling, because that's what does a lot of the tightening up of that skin. You put them on a series of about 3 and just kind of keep things going. I partnered with a, I don't know what to call it, a skincare line last month.
Okay,
Yeah, PCA Skin.
What kind of
I
skin?
like them. PCA skincare, so it's medical grade,
okay.
right? And it has peptides.
You should
that
talk
I
a little
love
bit about
those.
that.
And they just have all the skin brightening.
I think
and
you'll be able
all
to say
kinds of
that when I
things.
ask you this way. I
Okay.
wanna just see where I'm at over here.
Yeah, you don't have to ask me.
No, it's okay.
I don't even know.
Do you wanna say a success story? Is yours the success story?
So far.
Oh, okay, so that was already there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, there's a lot of frustrations when you start a business, right? And not so much frustrations, but like mountains, and you figure out, or the things that go wrong every day, there's something.
Right.
And I have to figure it
And
out,
you own
right?
your business.
Yeah, and I get really frustrated, and there's times where I'm like, oh. And then I get a text from a patient, and it's just like, hey, I just wanna say thank you. Literally, like, and it's so weird because I don't believe in coincidence all the time, but it's just what I needed, like at that minute when I'm discouraged.
I hear you.
Or I'm like, oh, I'm tired, or
Yeah.
what else is gonna happen
And then
today?
somebody sends something like that to
Right.
make you feel
It's so
better, and
nice.
it's great that you can help them.
Yeah, I love it.
What are you doing new to the spa?
Well, that's my 30-day kits actually. So we can talk about it again though. They're great. People love them, and they're flying
Home
off the
kits.
shelf. My
Okay.
top seller, Biotin and NAD+.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that, because when you come back,
Yeah.
we're gonna do that as a giveaway.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, here we go, ready? Just get up to that mic, that's all. So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. And right now we are talking to Jillian Fulton, and she is the owner of Glow Co Med Spa and Wellness. She focuses more on the wellness side of things, like for the functional wellness. And if
Yes.
anyone hadn't tuned in before until now, tell everybody, what that really means.
It means I try to step away a little bit from primary care, where you're looking at big pharma and you're looking at the insurance companies and everything, and I look more at the whole person, and that's the center, really, whole person in the center of functional medicine, and I take a little bit of a holistic approach, and I do believe in medication, regular pharma when needed, but I like to steer away from that. We like to find the root cause of things that are going on.
And what's nice about her, Donald, she happens to be located in Queen Creek, but she serves all of Arizona and also Colorado and Utah. She said that you're trying to add a new, state on,
A
like
new
almost
state every month.
every
That's right.
month.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be, national, soon.
Yeah.
Now, she does free consultations, and everything she does, she can either do in the spa, or she can do it telehealth, which is really nice. And, first, well, I guess we'll talk about this now first. I wanna talk about your 30-day home kits. We mentioned it earlier, but listen to what she says, they're flying off the shelves. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I do peptides, those, in long story, on non-science terms, but they're a bunch of amino acids, vitamins, they all have connections, they do things more of that natural wellness piece that we go towards with the homeopath stuff, but the two that I just can't keep, I mean, I tell people, like, I get text messages from patients, like, I shouldn't say, but like it's a drug, like they're like, I'm running out of NAD, do you have more? And
Oh,
I
wow.
order it for them, or I order it for in-office, but, so NAD specifically, it's like a DNA cell regenerator. And I have some patients that are taking it, and one in particular, she keeps taking pictures of herself and sending it to me. And she's late 40s, early 50s, but the lines on her face are like, you can see them starting to go away. And that's no
Wow.
skincare that I've done for her, which I've suggested
Uh-huh.
prior to the NAD. People tell me that they just feel so much lighter. They're clear-headed. They walk in a room and remember what they went in the room for.
Isn't that nice?
Things, yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
can relate to that that's listening.
Yeah, but peptides, are that family of peptides, they're becoming so popular. I'm starting to see them on the internet. And it's funny because when I started this business, I said, I have to do peptides because I'm very invested in them. I love them. I take them. I'm constantly trying to give them to somebody in my family. Like, for example, I have the immunity shot, right? I gave one to myself last night because we're traveling. So I have people that take them. They're like, hey, I'm traveling. Can I get 4 of those immunity shots? Because it just keeps it off, right? Just keeps you at bay. Go have fun. You know how you always get
Yeah,
sick on
sure.
an airplane
Yeah.
or,
Oh, yeah.
you know, anything. The immunity shot's huge. I have biotin, so that's for hair, skin, and nails.
Yeah.
And women love that. I haven't sold that to men too much yet. They're not too into the hair, skin,
They
and
will,
nails.
when
I
you
think
try
they
it
might.
and it starts growing your
But-
hair back on your head.
Right, but that NAD, they love it. But the biotin, the immunity shot, I mean, I have a whole list of all
So
of
I
them
just
on
wanna
those.
ask you if I can, may, these are 30-day home kits
Yeah.
that you personalize for them, or they're all the same?
No, I can do both. So
Okay.
sometimes if someone's just on NAD, I personalize their doses in the
Mhm.
beginning and we
Right.
go through that. But a lot of the shots, I have one patient that she has really bad migraines. And so I make her a migraine shot. And so that has a mix of some minerals and some vitamins, some
Wow.
Zofran, some other, things, and that's straight out of my office. And I give that to her and she loves it.
I bet there's a
So-
lot of people that suffer with that,
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you can check her out on her website. It's glowcomedspa.com. Her phone number is 480-770-2633. She's located in Queen Creek, but she serves all of Arizona and Colorado and Utah because she does telehealth, which is so nice. So you can either go in person or do it through telehealth, and free consultations for everyone. She says she's balancing inner health and outer beauty.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And to give you inner beauty.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good too.
It's amazing how people feel once they start working, you start feeling better. I noticed this huge trend and everyone wants to start feeling better, but they weren't really sure what that meant
Right.
until we started working on, with A, B, C. It's like
That's
a puzzle.
awesome. That is, and it is a puzzle. I wanna talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
Because when you came on, you told us that your story, you've lost 100 pounds,
Yes.
and it's been a year,
Mhm.
which is incredible, right? And you look fantastic.
Thank you.
And I was asking you because, you think somebody loses that much weight, that it shows in a different manner, like, sometimes your face gets gaunt and things start loosening up.
Saggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started, it's a little bit where the aesthetics piece comes in, and I love so much. I do microneedling, I do it on myself. It's not easy, but I do. But it's to tighten up that skin. You do it once a month for 3 months, and then you do it twice a year after that for maintenance. But I started that, and I like to start my patients. I talk to them about it in the beginning. I say, there's gonna come a point, especially when you have a lot of weight to lose. If we're talking 15, 20 pounds, it can look different. We still look at
Sure.
skincare.
Right.
But when you start having that sagging, we need to get ahead of it. We want to be proactive and not reactive. So we start the microneedling. We might do a chemical peel. chemical peel here or there, very light one, nothing crazy when you hear that stuff. I partnered with a skincare last month, PCA Skin, it's a medical grade skincare, and they do a lot of exomes, they also have peptides in their skincare. And it just, they have a neck cream, I love it, I can microneedle with that as well, and I do that. And so I just put everybody on a regimen, and they're just as happy. Now, I do like my Botox and my Jeuveau, I do that here and there. It's been a long time since I've done it for me, but people love it, and it just kind of, that inside out. So we're working on the inside, right, of why we're losing the weight, because there's a lot of reasons of why we gained it, right? And we work on that, and then we're working on that outside too.
And for everybody that's listening, you nursed for how long?
Like 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
So here's somebody that can act, walking in the shoes. I mean, you've really been that
Yeah.
person. And how, can I ask you, how long did you weigh that kind of weight?
I was heavy my entire life, and you know what? We didn't even plan on telling this story, but I will. About 2 years ago, and it's funny with your previous guest, her and I were talking about her business, who's been tied into it, but about 2 years ago, my dad passed away, my mother, and he didn't really take care of himself too much, and he was very heavy, and I definitely have those genetics, but I had them my whole life. I was never, really, really tiny. And so going through his probate and with my sisters and going through everything that we did and the stress from it, but I realized I didn't want to leave my kids the way he left us with the mess. And and I felt like anyway, the reason he could have taken care of himself better, right? And my blood pressure shot up. And I've been a nurse, and I know better. I mean, really. And I had told one of my nurse friends, I texted her, my ankles were a little swollen after a flight, and I texted her, I said, you're not gonna believe my blood pressure. It's like 189 over, it was like 121. And she goes, oh my God, we had a lot of other words that we were talking about, but I mean, it was really stroke level. That's what that blood pressure could be. And then that was kind of my moment. I was just sitting on the couch, and I thought about my dad, and I thought about all these things, and I thought, I have to change this. And sometimes it takes that.
It does. Sometimes you just have to get to the point where you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, or sick and tired of being overweight, or whatever it is. And the good news is there's help out there, but here's the thing, this is another thing we can talk about just by itself, is we have Dr. Google out there.
Yes.
That everybody's going on and talking to them and asking these questions, especially when it comes to the supplements, right? And because you're getting inundated with ads all the time, it sounds great. This is natural. I'm gonna go buy it and I'll be all better.
Yeah.
But you're here to say that's not the way it works. You have to figure out what it is that you're doing, what you're taking, because they can interact badly with one another.
Very badly.
Or maybe you're taking other medication that it interacts with.
Absolutely. I have a lot of patients, I love them dearly, and they know it, and we always joke about it, but they'll call me, and I have them on a plan. We call it, our plan, what we're doing, and that can forever change. But I was watching TikTok, and it said to take this. I saw on the internet that I need to do this, and I'm just like, can you please just, I promise if you listen to me and we do it this way, give me 2 months, because if we're changing things around, 1 month, give me 1 to 2 months, and let's see how you feel, then let me know. And every single time they said, oh my God, I'm so glad I listened to you.
Right.
So far so good. Yeah.
And here's the thing is that she is walking in your shoes, especially when it comes to the weight loss right there. And anybody out there that's listening, don't try and do these things on your own, and also be careful of where you're getting your things. That's another thing really big time to talk about. There's a million things that you could talk about when it comes to this, but what's really nice is that she's here to help, and she's made it so that it's very convenient for everybody. So not only can you come to her spa, which is in Queen Creek, she can also help you with this telehealth-wise, so that you can do it that way. She sends things right to your home, which is really nice. She's got these home kits that she says are just fabulous, that she can't even keep them on the shelf. And she does these free consultations. You can call her direct. Her phone number is 480-770-2633. You can check her out on her website, which is glowcomedspa.com. She really focuses a lot on that functional medicine, and she says that she's balancing inner health and outer beauty, and that's going to bringing it all together for you. Again, you can call her direct at 480-770-2633. It is glowcomedspa.com.